said, do not fear me. You just cry, just like I do. Just like I do, just like I do. You just cry, just like I do. Just like I do, just like I do. Just like I do, just like I do. Just like I do, just like I do. You said you'll be here. You said do not fear me. You just cry, just like I do. Just like I do, just like I do. You just cry, just like I do. Just like I do, 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 just like I do. Just like I do. You just cry, just like I do. You just cry, just like I do. I'm here where endless meets the end. Do you see me? I'm hidden here again. Your whispers found its way, calling me to stay. I'm standing at the edge, but something always brings me back. All the voices in my head reminding me of what I have. If I fall tonight, you can bring me back to life. If I fall tonight, you can be my saving light. You can be my saving light. You can be my saving light. You're here like lightning in my veins. Now they see me, and I'll never be the same. Your whispers found its way, calling me to stay. I'm standing at the edge, but something always brings me back. All the voices in my
Hello, and welcome to Amethyst Racing Tier 2 Race 1 Bahrain. It's me, Martin, and I'm joined with...
Me, Duckett.
And we're in for an exciting first race of our Tier 2. Last season it was highly competitive, with Rasmussen taking the championship in the end. Skowski and Rossi, with Rasmussen moving up to Tier 1. We're looking to possibly put their hands on it, but we've got new drivers who can also have a chance of getting their hands on the title.
Yeah, we have a few fast riders here in Tier 2, and it'll be an exciting opening race.
Any predictions in chat or from anyone or yourself, Duckett? Who do you reckon is going to take pole position today?
I know who I'm hoping for, but I believe Elsum is a good contender for pole position.
I'm just having to talk to one of the drivers quickly. If you carry on, Duckett, we're gonna
okay.
follow Alsop. We're gonna follow Alsop as he's the first car out
Alsop.
onto the track.
Okay, I need to. Yeah. Well, not much to say on the warm-up lap, is it? So I guess it'll just be
16 cars on the grid today. Alsop, Harris, who's moved up from Tier 3 to Tier 2, who showed some excellent pace in his one Tier 2 race in Saudi Arabia last season. You got the returning drivers of Monk in the Mercedes. You've got Chappers, who has moved from Mercedes to Alpine as the new TP. Potts, who has maintained a now permanent seat. Sander still has made a move from Ferrari to AlphaTauri, and Jehovah's has gone down from Alpine Tier 1 TP to AlphaTauri Tier 2 driver. The lineup of Alfa Romeo hasn't changed. You still got Skowski and Ule sporting them crimson red colours.
I just about that. I just see now that Ule he's out on intermediates.
On intermediates, interesting decision.
I believe he's just checking his setup and that everything is working correctly.
It's Kizel's first valid race of the season. That is very true. As Reese Alsop is going to take us for his flying lap. He's the first car to set a lap around the track. And he's going to be coming into this first turn here. It's going to be a sharp braking point and a sharp right-hander as well. Make sure you don't overspin the tyres on the exit.
He took that first turn in 4th gear.
Oh, very interesting. Meanwhile, he's coming up to turn 4 now. Another tricky entry point. There's a lot of time to be lost and gained in this corner. Crests it cleanly, coming into the fast sweeping right, and he's lost it, and he's spun. Oh, and that's going to be absolute dilemma for him. So we're going to switch now to the next person on lap. Would be the man himself, Kizel. That's a minor issue for Haas there, with Reese spinning on his first lap.
He still has quite a few minutes to go, so it's no big issue. But if he keeps doing that, then Kizel won't be happy as Haas TP.
He won't be. He'll be looking for a solid performance from both himself and his teammate. Reese's first race in Tier 2 is very correct, Rasmussen. He showed excellent pace towards the end of season 5 Tier 3, and he's been moved up into Tier 2 now. He's going to be looking to make an impact. But it's Kizel here coming through turns 11, 12 and 13. Sweeping right-hander of 12 into the slow down section for 13, and he's going to push it right to the limit and right on the line there, and he's going to drive out the line. His helmet matching his car. Final 2 corners, and he's going to set our benchmark lap. What do you reckon it's going to be? I reckon you're going to be looking at a 130 possibly.
Yeah, if not 29.
No.
Yeah, 29.0.
Oh, almost breaks the 128 section.
And
Rosu rapid behind him. Next across the line is going to be Skowski. Doesn't beat Kizel. Binder set to 130. Elsum slower than Kizel. And now as the Monk comes in, the 2nd to 4th, very, very close. 2nd to 5th, very close actually. Potts with a 131, won't be happy with that. Sander still goes P5. These times are mightily close. 1,000th slower than Monk for Sander still.
From P2 to P6, you have a few, like a 1/10 of a second.
As a Hooveners, how am I say that name? Hooveners?
Gonna leave that to you.
And it looks like there's an Aston Martin who's running very slowly. It might have been Rosu getting out of the way. Who's left on a lap? You've got Chappers on a lap and Jehovah's. Jehovah's pushing towards the line now, and Jehovah's goes P2. And next is going to be Chappers, and Chappers is coming into the pits instead. So Chappers doesn't set a lap, and all we've got left is we're going to follow Harris here as he sets his first lap in Tier 2 of this season. So Rosu throwing down the gauntlet for everyone. It will be up to now Harris and Reese to try and beat these times. So we're going to follow with Harris here as he's going to ride on board actually as he comes in through to turn 4, shifting down into 4th gear, swings it through actually into 3rd, going 1 gear extra down, and he's going to push hard. He's in 7th gear, drops it down 2 gears there in through the winding section of 7. Now coming through to turn 8, you're going to drop it down nice and slow and hope for a good exit, swing out wide, get a nice amount of drive out, make sure you don't spin that, light the back tyres up so you spin into the tricky 9-10. He gets a little bit of a correction that he has to do, but he then pushes out of it nicely. You're going to be on that DRS straight now as he comes towards turn 11, 12 and 13. Let's see what sort of pace he's looking to set at the moment. Holds
That'll
it.
be interesting.
Holds it tightly around there, coming through to the slower turn 13, down into 3rd gear actually, shifts back up into 4th, 5th, in 6th gear. He's looking quite fast here. He's purple sector 2, so this is looking like a highly competitive time for Harris. Final few corners. Doesn't get a snap of oversteer. He's going to drive towards the line. Let's see where Harris puts it on his first lap around Bahrain. And he goes P2.
Half a tenth.
So the next person on lap is Alsop. Do you want to talk us through Alsop's lap, Duckett?
If I find him, yeah. So he drops it down to he keeps 5th. I lied. I don't really know what to say.
Turn 8, coming through turn 8 now. Reese in 3rd gear, going to be looking to make sure he doesn't get any sort of like wheel spin. He's got cleanly through the section. He struggled on last lap, so he's looking to set a much more competitive time here. He's going to take that tricky 9-10 section and drive towards the DRS straight now. Swings it out wide to maximise corner angle, making sure he doesn't spin. Good line through there. This is where you don't want to catch that curb on the inside. He takes it a little bit wider than some have been, but means he's taking more speed, so he might be a little bit faster through this corner. I didn't see if that was a purple sector for Reese though. He's going to be pushing a little bit harder now. Got 2 corners left to go. And he's going to come across the start-finish line now, and the lap time he sets is P10 with a 1:29.3. I'd like to point out, 1st through to 10th is separated by 1 second. It's a nice, close, tightly packed grid. And we've still got a few people that haven't probably set competitive times. Potsule and Chappers can definitely go faster.
I don't think Ulay set a time on softs yet.
He went on inters. But it's Kizyul now who's going to be coming across the start-finish line to set a time. And Huizenvers is 1,000th faster than Kizyul.
I bet that's
same with Monk and Sanderstill. There's a lot of very tightly packed grid here, as it's going to be Kizyul now looking to improve on his time. Going to come into that first DRS straight now and drive towards turn 4. Let's make sure he can maximise as much speed as he can throughout this. And he's coming through to the end of sector 1. End of sector 1. Let's see what sort of time he's looking at. It is he's 1/10 up on his last time, but it's not a purple sector, so there's still time to be found for Kizyul.
If he keeps 1/10 up, he'll go up to P4.
He'll be looking to improve sector 2 and 3 as well, though.
Yeah.
As we have some yellow flags. What's happened down in sector 1 there? It looks like a slow AlphaTauri.
I believe he let Alfa Romeo past.
Ah. And Kizyul's going slow. Kizyul is going slow.
Why?
So it's Elsom now. We're going to follow with Elsom. I think Kizyul didn't get a good exit out of turn 10. Or yeah, turn 9 and 10.
I think he took it a bit wide and wasn't happy with it.
So he might look to reset and go one more time in this stint, or he might come into the pit. But it's Elsom who's a big snap of oversteer for Elsom. Big snap of oversteer. That will end his lap here. He was only 800ths up on his previous time as well. So we're going to now look for the next car on lap, and it's going to be the car of Binder, and he's got a very fast approaching Aston Martin behind him with Rosu. And he lets Rosu sends it up the inside of him. I don't know if that was a move or what. But they're both now going slow. They're jostling for position. And meanwhile, it's Ule who's going to be fast approaching behind them all. Ule, who is on lap here. He's looking to set a much more competitive lap time on them softs. Final few corners. He's going to swing it through. Both turn 14, 15. And Ule goes up into P5. And
Skalski.
next, I think, is Kopf. Kopf is the next car coming across. He's invalidated, actually. Sander's still looking fast. Sander's still looking like he could be improving a lot here. He's 3 tenths up at the moment. Final few corners, he's going to drive towards the line. Let's see where Sanderstill can improve with this. P4 for Sanderstill. But Chapper's right behind him, Chapper's up into P5. Very correct. We missed that lap. He snuck that in. And now we got the Ferrari of Hooveners. And Hooveners goes P2. No one able to beat Rossi's lap time currently.
Skalski is 5 tenths up on his time.
And he's coming around the final corner. A lot of time to be made for a lot of these drivers. Skalski goes up to P5, splitting the 2 AlphaTauris.
It's very close between the P2 to P5.
Oh, it is very close. Oh,
P8 down to P8 actually.
Yeah. I mean, all the top 9 have broken the 129.
Yeah, only Kisil 10 thousandths away.
Who's on a lap though? It's trying to work out who is on a lap currently on the map. So it's not Monk. Monk is invalidated. Kizu's on an outlap. Elsom's on an outlap. It'll be Hugendorn.
Is on a lap.
Hugendorn though is right behind Monk here. Might be getting a nice little tow from Monk.
I think.
It's Hugendorn next to set a lap here, and he's looking.
No,
he's not looking competitive. So it'll be Potts actually then who's on the lap.
No,
that's Potts is pitting as well. We've been debated, and it's not just in. He was 2 tenths up, but maybe he hasn't got enough fuel. So I think Elsom is now starting his outlap. He's finishing off his outlap now. Or is it Reese starting a lap? No, Reese is not starting a lap. He's just finished his lap. Goes P12 with that. So it will be Elsom. Elsom now starting his lap. Or is he? It's hard to work out at the moment.
I think he is. I think he took an extra outlap or went for 2. As it's 5 minutes remaining.
Might see the final pour out of cars because there's only going to be enough time for everyone to do one more lap. So Elsom has got to decide properly if he wants to go now or never.
He's a bit slower in Sector 1.
Hello Ratty, welcome. Elsom hasn't really been able to put a solid lap together, it feels like.
I think he's had a bit of bad luck as well into some of like the snap of oversteer we saw earlier.
So it's going to be Elsom now who's on lap still. He's pushing hard towards the winding turns of 11, 12, 13. He comes through 11 now. Takes a nice wide line, swings it back through now into 12. And then you brake hard for turn 13, but making sure that you carry enough speed to make a competitive lap time.
Half a tenth up in Sector 2.
Half
I don't
a
think
tenth.
he'll be...
We'll put him P10.
Yeah, I don't think he's happy with this lap either.
He's got to choose now whether he sticks it or if he's going to go into the pits. He's going to stick with it.
Stick it.
And Elsom goes P7. Found a lot of time in that last sector. The next car on lap is Kizu is finishing off. Are you telling me to hydrate? If you're telling me to hydrate, oh, Elsom's washed.
To his defense, he got home from a week's trip today, so...
That's Kizu. Kizu has put it P5. That will be his final lap time, though, I'd have gathered. And
he doesn't have enough fuel.
Yeah, but I think Kizu won't have enough time to get around and in. Is Rosu on lap? No, Rosu's on an outlap, so we're going to switch to Chappers now. Currently P9, we're looking to make some improvements.
Yeah, he's 1.5 tenths up currently after sector
1.5 tenths. He takes a very wide line, almost invalidating there, very close. Swings it through nicely though. So there's 7/10 between P1 and P12. That is very correct, Connor. It's very tight.
Looks like it'll be a good battle this season.
Last season we had 7, 8 cars always battling. We had big DRS trains, normally the Danish Express, and we're looking like we're going to have even more of them. As is Elson possibly giving Chappers a tow here?
It looks like it.
Oh, it was very late minute. I thought maybe there was about to be a crash between teammates. But Chappers is pushing towards the line now. But
looks like it'll be a good lap.
It's P7. As Hamadir comes in with the Austrian train over the Dangerous Express. And who's next on a lap? Is it Reese? Reese is in the pit, so it's not Reese. It's Harris is actually on a lap.
Rosie
and Harris breaks the 128.
Oh my god!
We're in the 127s. That is the gauntlet thrown down. The gauntlet has officially been thrown down.
We have Rosie on a lap, 2.5 tenths.
Hugendorn has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane.
That's okay.
I didn't quite see what happened. I think he stopped to let the fast car go through, but you can't do that. So there isn't a lobby restart today.
I thought we were restarting for a guy to join.
No, if he join, he's got into. There's no restarting. It'll be. He has until qualifying is to join.
Okay, well, he has a minute on him. Though.
He has a minute left to get in. McLaren holding the Macau, but who is on lap? And it will be Vlad. Vlad has to be on an out lap.
No, yeah, he finished his lap. He went 2 tenths quicker.
So Harris is currently looking mightily fast there. As
Belsam retires from the session.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough time to do another lap. So we're now looking for people on lap, and it's Skowski. Skowski is starting his.
We have the Ferrari in P3 on the lap.
The Ferrari on P3 is on a lap. And Chappers is retired now. He's not going to have enough time for one more lap. As the Red Bull pairing are about to start their laps as well. And so are both the AlphaTauris. There's our AlphaTauri and Red Bull working together here to form a 4-car train.
I would feel bad. I would feel bad for the cars behind. But maybe.
As both the Merc boys are also starting their laps, but we're going to be following on with Hooveners. If that's not how you say your name, I'm sorry, but today it's going to be Hooveners. And he's gone purple sector 2. So Vlad P2, he looked almightily fast, but Harris pulled out a lap from nowhere and just was like, have that, you bastard. But it's Hooveners. Hooveners now pushing towards the line. And Hooveners improves, but it doesn't move him up. So next is going to be the Skowski's next on lap. He's not there yet.
He's not gained any time this lap.
Not gained any time this lap. So it'll be Skowski not improving. So it's
we have Ulay on the lap, 3 tenths up.
Ulay on lap though. Let's see where he puts it. 3 tenths might be enough to leapfrog his teammate and some. Ulay up into P4. Next up is going to be Sanderstill. Sanderstill is 1 tenth up. Goes up into P4. And now next up is the Red Bull. It's the Red Bull pairing. Binder goes P10. Kopf up into P10. Binder down to P12. Down Drahovazel. Drahovazel doesn't improve. Next it'll be Monk. No, Monk. Monk's run very wide. Monk has run awfully wide there. Monk is not on a good time.
No, he's not.
Mercedes are being washed. Get in the bath, boys. It's bath time. You guys are washed.
As he goes into the pits.
Goes into the pits. So, that is our qualifying with Harris throwing down the gauntlet. He's here and he's here to win. P1 for Harris. P2 for Rosu. P2 for Hooveners. Would you be able to get the screenshot, Stuckert?
I would. When they come up.
We're just watching Monk, who set the wash. Monk washed. Can we get some Monk wash in the chats? It's very true. Harris has currently had 100% pole rating every time he's raced in Tier 2. Harris showing he's got the need for speed. You been able to get them all?
Yep.
Good. So, this is our lineup. It's going to be Harris, Rosu, Juvenes, Sander still P4. For bringing back the pace. He was lacking a little bit last season, but he's back. Sander still is here to play today. So, what is everyone's race predictions? It's 2-1 to Arsenal. Let's go!
Who are Arsenal facing?
Liverpool.
I wish I cared about football.
But yeah, what is everyone's predictions in the chat? Who's going to take the checkered flag in first? Who do you reckon will be the first one to lose a wheel? How many safety cars?
As long as it isn't one of my drivers, I don't care.
Everyone in the points has a chance. I think currently everyone, the pace between the grid, there wasn't big gaps. Everyone was tightly knitted. It's all about who has more will to win. Who wants that win? Rasmussen reckons 3 DNFs, 2 safety cars, a Haas on the podium. Bold prediction.
If that happens, we will have a race on our hands.
Someone has added me as a friend called YOLO. No idea who that is. But here we go. As the warm-up lap begins. Are you a mod on the Twitch? Duckett?
I am.
Would you like to do a poll?
I can. Let me go into... I can't... I shouldn't tab out though, should I?
No. If you can do it on your phone would be better.
Okay, well, let me open Twitch.
It's not as bad if you tab out. If I tab out, it's fucked.
I think someone made the poll, so...
Yep, Palmer beat you to it. Palmer beat you to the poll.
Yeah.
Is that gonna happen? Is that gonna happen in the Tier 3 race? Will Palmer beat Duck to pole?
Dude, if Palmer beats me on Wednesday, I will uninstall the game.
So, Hegro thinks that Harris is going to win this race.
Martin.
Yes.
You know in Cars 1 when they start the race, the final race?
No, I've never watched it.
Oh, what the f... Okay,
but the boys are warming up the cars.
I DM'd you what you should say at the start. That's what they say in Cars 1.
This isn't... Yeah, because that's because it's NASCAR.
Yes, you should say it now.
But this isn't NASCAR, this is... if anything, I'm doing the Murray Walker style. I'm not doing boogity 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 boys, let's go racing.
You should.
Currently, Connor, your one driver's P16. So I don't think it's... I think it's LeClaren. But the boys are finishing up the warm-up. Like, let's see how they line up on this grid. Are they going to be looking to angle their cars in a certain way to block off the other ones?
Let's look at Harris lining up now. I don't think he lined up.
Harris is very wonky, but he didn't do it good enough, and he's been popped back.
He went a bit too wide, or too long.
Harris is the favourite to win in chat by the looks of it. Let's see if any of them... Are we going to be given any good camera angles for this? As there's a little bit of car love going on further back. Chappers and Hugendorn. So here we go. The lights are lighting up. And we go, and we're gonna go, and Harris gets a brilliant start here, but he seems to stall out a bit, and Rosu got a much better one actually. Harris has dropped down to P3. There's a little bit of contact, a little bit of wheel rubbing. They're side by side as they're 3 wide into that third corner, and Harris is Sanders still up into P3.
Sanders and Yuli got a brilliant start.
And Sanders still looking to go around the outside of Hooveners now, as Chappers is up into P7. It's all kicking off all over the shop. Further back, Hugendon's up into P13 from P16. As there's a spin, it's Chappers! Chappers has spun! Chappers has dropped all the way down to P15 from that.
P16 now.
P16, he's gone very wide as well. That's crazy. And somehow that's 10 seconds. I think that will get overridden, that 10 seconds. Yeah, but it is Rosu leading Hooveners, leading Sanders still, leaving Ule, leading Harris. Harris got an awful start in the end there. And he's dropped from P1 to P5. Jehovah's all P6, Monk P7, Elson P8, Skowski P9, and Potts P10. That rounds out our points. And we're going to quickly have a look at the gains. So the biggest gainer there was Monk, up 7. The biggest loser was Chappers, down 7. Kizyul didn't get a good start either, down 5. And Kizyul's dropping further down the lit board actually, as he picked up damage there. It's quite hard to tell. We're gonna now pull up. He's pitting. He definitely has damage. We're gonna now pull up the tyres. So we're gonna switch back to the leaders. Actually, it looks like the Potts is looking to try and make a move on Skowski. A lot of people chose to start on mediums a bit more this time. Maybe Harris's poor start wasn't because he got a bad start, but because of the tyre choice. We saw in the Tier 1. We saw in Tier 1 that the hard runners ended up having the better race towards the end.
Yeah, Kizyul pitted for another set of mediums.
It's very interesting. Kizyul is gonna have to do an almighty thing. Be hoping for a safety car, I'd assume. But back to the front, it's going to be Rosu leading Hooveners, leading Sanderson. Jehovah's all up into P4 now. Ule's run wide. Harris gets past Ule as well. Both on the hard tyres here. This is very important because the front 4 mediums, the alternate strategies is going to be a very big thing. As Ule looks to switch back Harris through turns 11 and 12. They're almost side by side, but Ule pulls out in the end. Harris makes it look easy as he pulls it up the inside.
I think Ule will be happy with that.
And Kizyul is not having a good race. Where is Kizyul?
He's in the gravel. And I think
turn
he lost
10
it on the curve maybe.
But
I think Vlad is pushing to get out of 1 second.
He's gonna have to push hard.
50-60% battery at the moment.
The front 2 have a second over Sanders still, who also has a second over Jehovah's. As Elsom has gone past Monk. They're side by side. It's very, very close on alternate strategies. Monk looking for the switchback on Elsom, and he switches back. He's still on the inside of this corner. There's another. There's a yellow flag for another Haas that has spun, and Monk sends it back up the inside and claps back Elsom. He claps his cheeks good and proper. But we're going to go back to the front because it's Rosu leading Hooveners, and he'll be looking for that second. That second gap still isn't there. The medium runners are battling, but the hard runners now, with the aid of the DRS, won't drop off the back. It's not been a good race for Haas so far. P14-16. They had good qualifying.
Kizyul pitted again.
And he's pitted for 1 lap old hards. Maybe more damage. Another broken front wing possibly. As Rosu's now got a second. Rosu's gained a second.
I think Hooveners will be pushing to get back into the 1 second.
He will be, but I'd like to point out Harris on them hard is all over the back of Jehovah's AlphaTauri.
I see Ule is outside the 1 second gap to Harris.
Sanders still is also outside of the second Hooveners. So at the moment, Rosu showing he's got the race pace and he can't be displaced. As Harris looks to send it up the inside of turn 1, it's very close, very, very close. But but he'll get the DRS through this section. Will Jehovah's will get DRS as well? They both get DRS. They both pop their flaps. Jehovah's will holds on the outside. Harris around the inside of turn 4. And Harris makes the move stick by the looks of it. But will Jehovah's will hang around the outside? No, Harris is through up into P4. Harris on the hards, making them work. Putting in a shift here. Meanwhile, further back. Oh, actually, Jehovah's was still over the rear of Harris, and Harris won't have DRS to defend on this straight as things stand. Coming from turns 9 and 10. It's very close, but there's a train. Harris is forming a train behind him now. The British Express.
Potts was very close to Skalski, but dropped off a bit before the straight.
Skalski doesn't have the DRS either, so he probably is using quite a bit of ERS here. But we're still following Harris, who's got Jehovah's all over his rear. He's in an AlphaTauri sandwich currently.
Ule has gotten inside the 1 second gap to Andrew now.
That's very important. These hard runners, we're wanting that DRS for the mediums, because if they can hold on to them when they do the swap over, the overcut, we think Harris takes a purple sector 3 there as well. He's really hunting down Sanders still. He is within the DRS for in the next section as well. So it's going to be Rosu who leads Juvenes, who leads Sanders still, with a charging Harris looking to gain the places he lost. Then Jehovah's
Andrew spins.
Andrew spins. Jehovah's all spins. And he's got to make sure he does this safely. He will not be happy about that spin. He drops down to P30 from that. So that takes a lot of pressure off of Harris, who can now push after his teammate. Meanwhile, Ule, who's got Monk behind him, who then has Elson behind him. They've kind of dropped Skalski off. Skalski's having to defend Potts. Harris is all over the back. Already.
Those
Harris
are working a wonder for him.
He's looking rapid here.
He's not using any ERS down the straight.
There's no need. He's looking to make a move here, possibly. He eyes it up for a second, but thinks better of it. But meanwhile, the front two are pulling away. Rosu's almost got a 2 second gap over Juvenes, who has a 2.5 second gap over Sanders still. With Harris all over the back, gets a snap of Oversteer. Meanwhile, Monk is got Elson all over his rear. Monk is going to have to defend Elson like his life depends on it here.
Monk lost a second to Ule in the 2 sectors.
That's true. At the moment, the grid is Rosu, who leads Juvenes, who leads Sanders still, who leads Harris, who leads Ule, and Elson goes past Monk. Will Monk look to make a move back on him, though? He eyes up the inside. There's a lock-up in front of them. Ule has a big lock-up, and Monk sends it up back on the inside of Elson and holds the position. And Ule definitely lost time there, because it's almost back down to under a second. Meanwhile, Skalski still defending Potts with Kopf in P10. That rounds out the points currently. But Sanders was showing he's found his form again. Season 4 was not his season, but now he's riding right up the front. Whew.
Hectic race, only 6 laps in.
Yeah, and Harris is currently all over the back, and there's a yellow flag. Who has spun?
Oh, it's a Kisiel again.
No, it's Alsop. Alsop has spun. They've spun in turn 7. Just a bad catching, maybe a little bit too much curb and spinning out on the exit, sadly. But back to the front.
All over the back of Andrew now.
Chappers all over the back of Andrew. This would be very interesting. But also, Elsom's all over the back of Monk again. It's very, very close. We're going to switch to the battle for P5. Because it's Ule leading Monk, who leads Elsom. But Vlad is starting to really show his pace.
Monk only has 10% DRS remaining. 9 actually.
And Elsom might be looking to make a move up the inside. But he's not close enough.
He got a better exit here, it looks like. With much more ERS remaining.
Oh, cheers, Connor. Cheers. I've just seen what you put in his Luke Martin amount. But currently the battle for P5, the three of them are all within a second of each other. Elsum keeps gaining on Monk. Monk being aided with the DRS here. Elsum on the mediums. We wanting to get past the two of them, because otherwise when they switch over, it's going to be a very difficult race for them, I would imagine. But meanwhile,
Harris is now going to overtake Sandersteel.
Harris is all over Sandersteel. That's very true. Harris has got past Sandersteel in before turn 11.
Oh,
and there's been
he almost lost it on the
exit. He got a snap of oversteer, so Sandersteel's back through as the hydrates are coming in thick and fast. That's cheers, Hamadir.
4 of them.
There's 4 of them. Let me just get my drink opened. That's 5 of them. Is Luke Martin a melt? It got 100% votes. Cheers. Cheers,
Only 5
Connor.
people voted.
But meanwhile, it's going to be Harris eyeing up Sandersteel again. On the DRS straight, it looks like he's passed him before the corner. Further back, so Harris makes the move stick, but Monk is now having to defend Elsum. Elsum eyeing up that inside, but he just doesn't have enough pace.
The DRS help from Yule is really saving Monk right now.
It's very true, as Sandersteel tries to get back at Harris, and I'd like to point out, I don't drink water. That is drink number 3.
Out of 5?
Out of 5. Beer contains water. Cheers. But Harris is now defending Sandersteel. Sandersteel all over the back of Harris still. Harris gets a little bit of a snap there. Hugendorn up into P11.
Neither of Sandersteel or Harris are using any ERS down the straight.
It's very true. Maybe they're holding on to it for now. Or maybe Sandersteel's running a bit low. But Rosu is holding out that 2 second gap over Juvenes, and Harris now. Watch the gap between Harris and Juvenes. That will be very important for when they swap tyres. Hugendorn waiting to get P1 on the last lap. He's sandbagging supposedly. But Ule, who is leading Monk, who is leading Elsum, Skowski has now started to catch up, and he's dropped Potts off the back. So now there's a 4-car train. Whereabouts is Ule from? Is he Polish?
He is. Him and Skalski are Polish.
You've got the Polish train looking to run a train on the 2 in between.
I believe Yule and Skalski are running quite low wings.
Oh.
You didn't hear it from me though.
I don't think that one was that bad. Alright, that didn't sound good. I turned my fan on. Harris
a second gap.
On Sandersteel already.
As Monk is almost out of DRS.
Oh, Monk is out of DRS. And he's going to have to defend Elsum. Elsum looking to eye up Monk here. He's going to send it around the outside like a trailer park girl, but doesn't make it stick. And there's a spinning Chappers by the looks of it further back.
Yep. It was indeed Chappers.
Chappers has spun further back. I turned my fan on and it sounded like an aeroplane taking off, so I thought better of it.
Like Russian CSGO mics.
And Elsum spun! Elsum has spun!
He's down to P11. Make that P13.
Oh!
Chappers is going slow.
Chappers is going very slow. There's a safety car out. Why the... Why is there a safety car? What is... that's
Ule's
not a safety car.
Ule's pitting.
Ule's pitting? For what? For mediums already?
I mean, he is a master of tires, so... I think
both the drivers are pitting.
Someone tabbed out because I am being... For what the hell?
If anyone forced it... No, the Chappers was going slow because the safety car was out. If anyone forced it, was Elsum after that spin, possibly.
I don't understand what Davies told Skalski and Yule now, though. It's way too early for mediums.
It's a lot of laps. I'm not sure why the safety car is out.
I think Rosu will be quite annoyed because he
His
passed the
gap will
pits
go.
when he came out. Yes, 6.5 seconds gap.
Elsom spun, but that shouldn't have been a safety car.
I think it's just the game being the game, to be honest with you.
I feel like that shouldn't have been a safety car. I didn't see.
Apparently lost his wing, but
he hasn't pitted. Oh, he has
no.
pitted. Wait, let me check the race director quickly.
Oh, yeah.
No, Elsom did need a front wing. You are correct. So it might have been debris. Is Kizu a lap down? Because if not, Kizu's back in play.
Yeah, he was a minute down, and now he's, as Hammer said, he bring.
The Hasta plan.
Elsom helping his former team, which he won with here in season 3.
I'd still feel like that. Oh, Rosu's in the pits and so is Juvenez. They're swapping onto the hards.
As Harris takes the lead.
Harris staying out. No, the hard runners all staying out. The medium run is looking to come in, other than Jehovah's all.
I don't know how long he thinks he can go.
Them hards can definitely go another 4 or 5 laps minimum. But
yeah,
this is huge.
I gotta admit, I don't see why Sandsteel and Andrew didn't pit. At least one of them. Both on mediums.
But yeah, it's very early to go off of the hards onto the mediums, but it's not the perfect time for the medium runners, but it's a decision to make, because your hards will last, but you will definitely get gobbled up by the people who have stayed out towards the end of it. So it'll be Harris.
P5 and Juveners came out P8.
So 2 cars in between them, which is huge. Jehovah's all making an AlphaTauri blunder, possibly, because Sanders still stayed out as well. Both the AlphaTauris have stayed out actually.
I told you. Potts and Monk, P3, P4, quite old hards now.
I think that's what everyone will be if they are on hards though. Old.
I would do the same.
I'm just trying to make my fan a little bit less safe by taking off the covering. But that way it won't sound like a aeroplane is taking off. That's better. I am now being called. I'm now being called by my fan. But I can't put my I can now put my fingers inside of my fan, which is dangerous.
Don't do that.
I'm not going to do that. But Monk has pitted now.
Monk.
And it's 2-all.
He'll come out ahead of Kisiel though, which is still 50 seconds down.
Kisiel really needs to push here. Drunky monkey chat is saying, and I would agree with that. Monk deciding to come in now is a weird one. Is the safety car going to be in this lap?
I would believe so.
It's very interesting decisions.
I would assume it would have been a virtual safety car for a front wing, but not my decision, I suppose.
I don't agree with the safety car.
Neither.
I think a lot of the grid one, Kisiel will be like, safety car, get me back in this race. He's almost caught up.
Yeah, but he hasn't pitted, he's still on the old hard, so... And the people in front of him have pitted.
It's very true. But it at least puts him not about to be lapped.
That is very true.
Is safety car in this lap? It's hard to tell. It should be. Are the lights coming out on the safety car? By the looks of it, by the way Harris has dropped off the back of the safety car, I would have said yes. No, lights are still on. So we get to play ring around the road. No, it is in this lap. The classic FIA leaving it last minute to announce that the safety car is coming in. So Harris will now back up the pack. Harris with Sanderstill and Potts behind him, and then it'll be Rosu on the fresh hards. So Harris backing up the pack. Is the curse of the safety car race starter going to strike? Half the time they spin.
When will he leave? When will he go? On the line.
He was a very interesting one. Sanderstill gets past him. That was
down?
Oh, there's a huge crash! There's a huge crash! Hooveners has been collected in that crash. That was a massive crash. Hooveners with damage. Jehovah's all looks like he has damage. And Kizzle's out and Trappist is out and Elsom. There's a huge crash. Now where is the safety car?
How is this not a safety car?
And there's a spin for Monk. Where is the safety car now?
This is some real FIA shit, to say the least.
So no,
I don't think Kizzle will be too happy now.
No, Kizzle is out. That was an insane restart. That Harris restart was
I don't really think Harris can be blamed for that one. From what I saw, though, he didn't accelerate.
He can choose when to go. If he wants to go out on the start-finish line, he can. And everyone just bundled up behind him, thinking it was go time. And Harris and Sanderstill have left the murk of Potts in the dust.
I think Vlad is trying to make a move on Potts.
Vlad will be looking to make a move as Ule as well on the mediums. Monk defends the inside from Rosu, but Rosu carries a lot more. No, Potts defends the inside, and he's done by both. They go around, one on the inside, one on the outside. And now Ule will be looking to get past Rosu as well.
Ule not using any ERS this straight.
They all look to eye each other up, and Potts gives... Potts spins Ule, and there's someone lost a bit of wing as well.
I think Ule slightly tapped Rosu in the back and lost it.
And Ule will be looking to get back past. He's trying to sit. There doesn't look like there's any damage on Ule.
I think Skalski will be looking to strike now.
Yeah, Skalski will be looking to get past both of them.
He still has 50% DRS.
Does Rosu have damage there? Rosu doesn't look like he's got damage. Kopf looks fine. No. It's Hugendorn with the damage. Hugendorn was the one who got the damage. As Alslop is up into P6, technically P2 because he has done his pit stop.
He's looking to have any damage from the looks of it.
No, it was the McLaren's front end plate.
I mean, that's kind of an L for Connor, not gonna lie, but...
The safety car restart was perfectly legal. He just decided not to go fast early. He went on the line, which is within the rules. But now, with his damaged front wing, Alsop gets past him. Hugendorn, this looks like an absolute massive pack here. Hugendorn looking to get through, and there's contact again, and Potts is spun from
I think it was contact with
Ule.
As a McLaren pit or a new front wing, I assume. Can Reese keep the two Alfa Romeos behind though?
That'll be very interesting. And there's two Mercs behind as well. There's a big pack behind this Haas. As a Hugendorn didn't come in. Hugendorn's in the pits.
Potts is on 14 lap old hards though, and everyone else is on new mediums.
And Binder looking to get past Potts as well. But Binder can't make the move stick. So it's going to be Harris who leads Sanderstill, who then leads Rosu on fresh tyres. And meanwhile, It's going to be Reese who leads the 2 Alfa Romeos, who then leads the 2 Mercedes. As Hoversall gets past Hugendorn on that DRS straight.
It's interesting to see if Rosu can catch up to the back of Sandsteel on those new hards.
It will be very interesting.
He's caught up 0.3 of a second in a few corners alone.
But when will the front 2 pit is the question.
Do you reckon Harris could go for some sneaky soft setup?
It's 5 laps. He's going to have to make them soft last to lap 24 and then hard lap to last 24. As Vlad sets the fastest lap. And here we go. Ule on Reese.
Makes it.
Does make it stick.
Ooh.
And he's through. He's passed through. And now there's a little bit of a train as Potts is coming to the pits now. So it's Skalski who leads Alsop, who leads Skalski, who leads Monk. Binder dropped off the back of this pack.
I don't think those hards are working the way he wants to at the moment.
For Alsop or
No,
Binder.
Yeah,
So the mediums will be faster for the time being.
Not for much longer though.
I'm not sure for how much longer either.
As both Alfa Romeos have been 6 laps on those mediums, and Sand is still 15 laps on those mediums.
So Sanderstill's surely got to be looking to pit now. He's got Arosu all over his rear. And Koff actually running a very quiet race up in P4 currently.
He's just kind of been there, not had a quote-unquote boring race, if you will.
So it's Rosu looking to make a move on Sanderstill. He pulls out to the inside and he's passing him way before the corner by the looks of it. And yes, he has passed him before coming into the entry of the corner. So it's now Rosu who's going to be hunting down Harris. Harris on old hards, Harris on new hards. But meanwhile, Skalski has now made a move on the Alsop. They're side by side into turn 1. They still remain side by side. Reese gets a snap of oversteer. And Monk gets a snap of oversteer, a big snap of oversteer, almost into the wall there.
Almost a Mazepin moment.
I was expecting Monk to bin it in the wall as Jehovah's sets the fastest lap. Other than that spin, he probably would have been looking good if he didn't have that spin, sadly. And then I wonder if he got caught up in the restart incidents.
That would not surprise me, as Potts is all over the back of the McLaren at the moment.
Has the McLaren pitted? The McLaren has pitted. They've both pitted.
Yes.
Both on mediums. Potts looking to make a move up on the inside. And Potts goes through for P12. Unless Hugendorn going to fight back. They're still side by side. You suicidal maniacs. And Hugendorn makes it stick. What a move. That was chaos at its finest. But it's Harris who's going to have to think about pitting soon, surely. Harris actually coming into the pits now. As I mentioned it, Harris in the pits.
Early mediums done.
So it's going to be Rosu who's going to take the lead again. With Sanderstill still hasn't pitted. Sanderstill is a mad man.
Wonder how his tires are doing right now. I know I would not be liking my life in those. Harris comes out P8 with Binder. No wait, yeah, Binder not far behind.
So meanwhile, it's going to be the Alfa Romeo pairing pushing, forming a train. They've dropped Reese by over a second now. Is there any orders between your two drivers, or are they free to duke it out between themselves?
I've only told them one thing: if they DNF, I will fire them.
Why is that the line I've heard from everyone?
They are free to race. They
are free to race.
As they don't crash each other. That's the only rule.
That's fair enough.
Help each other out.
So let's watch this gap between Harris and Rosu, because currently the gap is
7 seconds.
No, Harris is 18 seconds behind Rosu. He's got to make 18 seconds up in not 11 laps. That's a big ask. That is a very big ask.
We know how fast they can be on those mediums though, so...
Is there a possible safety car? Do we have a second safety car looming? Somehow, we got one that was a bit questionable, but then we didn't get one that was not questionable.
FIA doing their thing, to say
If I had the power to press the
safety car button,
I would have pressed the safety car button. Like, that's a safety car. We got 3 dead. But meanwhile, Sanderstill is now in the pits, and so is Koff. So let's see where Sanderstill and Koff pops up. Sanderstill is going for 10 laps on them softs.
That's well, he went like 19 laps on mediums.
Absolute madman. But he did drop off the pace towards the end is the issue. And that will happen with the softs again. So now it's Rosu being hunted down by the Alfa Romeo pairing, with Monk behind them and Reese behind them. Harris is 5 seconds behind Reese and he's closing in. But Reese does get the DRS on Monk, which will help him keep Harris at bay as long as possible. Monk has dropped off the back of the Alfa Romeos. And meanwhile, Potts has now got past Hugendorn. So as we look to see where the action is, the current closest drivers would be Alsop on Monk, with a fast approaching Williams and Harris behind.
He's closed the gap to Reese by 3.5 seconds.
And Skowski, both Skowski and Ule's tyres are going to be screaming towards the end. So let's see what happens with Reese probably on going to be doing 90 as Harris gets the fastest lap on them new mediums. Actually, Harris is looking rapid, but I reckon we can see Sanders still set a fast lap on this lap coming. He's on softs.
I don't.
Reese looking to make a move. Reese trying to make a move on Monk, but Monk fending him off, and then Reese does not get a good exit, and he loses 5 tenths in that one corner alone.
Speaking of but Harris, I think it will be difficult overtaking all the cars and catching up.
Yes, Harris probably looking at the rate he's catching up though. He could be eyeing a podium still.
He could, very much so.
And a safety car would change everything here on his fresh tyres.
Yeah.
Don't write off a safety car, as Binder currently has a bit of a train behind him in Juvenes and Sanderstill. Juvenes, who got caught up in that safety car restart, was a bit of a chaotic one.
Excited for the tickets.
Oh no, I'm not. A lot of them are probably going to get done for racing incidents as well.
Yeah. I think Sanderstill is going to make a move soon.
Sanderstill's looking very fast on the back of that Ferrari. He's going to send it up turn 13.
Oh.
Sanderstill up into turn 13. Up into P8, makes the move. He's going to have to make them softs go as long as they can. So he's going to be looking to go rapid to begin with. Harris sets a new fastest lap. Harris is hunting down Alsop. He's closed him down by 2 seconds that last lap alone.
Jesus.
And Harris is almost in DRS of the two.
As Sanderstill and Binder. Yeah,
they're not fully past just yet, but he is through on the entrance. And Juvenes is up as well. Juvenes makes the move. Binder loses 2 places in one corner. He will not be happy about that at all. And Juvenes will get the DRS as well from, I would presume, Binder, who got it from Sanderstill. But we're going to go now to P6 Harris, who is hunting down the Haas of Alsop.
He's right behind him now.
He is right behind him. He's going to be licking his lips. What a scrummy meal he's got in front of him. This little train in front of him, he's going to be like,
P3 only 3 seconds up the road from him. It's a question about how fast they can overtake Reese and Monk.
A double Austrian podium, a points finish. Who's the other Austrian? As Monk picks up 3 seconds, that's huge actually. 3 seconds when you're running this tightly.
That'll be P6.
It won't be good for him. As Alsop loses the position to Harris before the corner. Harris is looking mightily fast on them mediums.
He has quite a lot of ERS remaining as well compared to Reese.
But Reese fighting back. Reese is fighting back on Harris. He's looking to go around the outside. Harris squeezes him as tight as he can. Reese maybe gets a switchback. Reese with a double switchback move, looking to really clap Harris's cheeks here, but there's no doing. Harris, no! Reese looking for another move here. No, Harris closes the door.
That was
mighty defending from Harris there. Now Harris will be looking to dispatch Monk very swiftly like a hitman.
He's also a bit in luck. Monk has been running at below 10% ERS every lap so far, it looks like.
That's a common Monk L. Meanwhile, Juvenez now is looking to catch up to the back of Koff. Sanderstill's got past Koff without an issue. Sanderstill now running quite a lonely race down there in P7. Jehovah's will be wanting to catch up to Binder on his newer mediums. Newer hards onto the back of Binder on the older hards. That's for the last points playing position currently. But Harris is eyeing up Monk like he's a delicious steak. He must be licking his lips at that flashing light.
I think
looking for a good exit.
Excited.
Monk, who isn't got DRS. Monk doesn't have DRS either as things stand.
He doesn't have DRS or ERS at the moment, so I think this will be quite an easy pass for Harris.
And here we go, Monk defends. Monk switches,
Skalski
swings out.
pitting.
Skalski pits. It's a very interesting strategy.
Okay, this is.
It's your team. It's your team.
I'm gonna yell at Davies after this race. That's to say. What?
Skalski goes for. Are they going for fastest lap? But you've lost so many points going for fastest lap here. Surely.
I thought they were gonna do team play and keep Harris behind. Now Harris will get P2 in the matter of half a lap.
Harris will be hunting down Rosu actually, because Harris is looking mightily fast on their mediums compared to Rosu's 12 lap old hards.
And
Ule is now a delicious rump steak for Harris to consume. Harris is a greedy boy and he's eating up everyone.
Yes, Hamadir, he's back.
Harris gets the DRS.
Yeah, he got a bad exit though.
And Hugendorn has retired from the race. Not a good outing for McLaren sadly today. Only one of their drivers turned up.
Look how much more grip Harris has than Ule.
Them mediums, them grippy mediums compared to the worn mediums.
Yeah, 7 lap difference, 8 lap difference actually.
And then he's got 10 seconds to gain on Rosu. It's going to be a little bit closer than we thought.
Yeah.
But Harris gets a much better drive out than Ule. Harris looking to make it in the move stick for P2. And it is, I'd like to point out, Skalski has lost position to Kopf and Sanderstill as well as the train that was there.
He has a few laps to catch up, but with his pace, hopefully something can happen.
So let's watch the gap between Harris and Rosa. That's going to be very important. Ule
half a second.
Hoping to hold on to the back of Harris here. Sanderstill was riding quite quietly, but Juvenez and Jehovah's was up into P9. He's got past both Juvenez and Binder while we was watching Harris make the moves. So Juvenez, after that awful safety car restart for a lot of drivers, really went from looking at a solid podium position to fighting for the last scrap of points here, which is a great shame.
To say, Harris has caught up a second in 1.5 sectors.
Oh boy.
If he keeps that up, then he will win this race.
He will? He'll have to make the move past him as well though. So I wouldn't rule it out just yet.
Yeah, but he has more ERS as it stands by 20-30%.
Oh,
well.
But Ule is holding on to the back of Harris very well here.
Without using ERS as well. What a lad.
So there's a little bit of a lull. There's a lull in the action currently as we've got 12 cars left on the track.
Skalski is within a second of Kopf now.
So we're going to switch to the Alfa Romeo of Skalski. Juvenez has been dropped by Jehovah's. Jehovah's are well up in the points. Double point scoring for the Alfa Tauri boys. We're very happy about this. And Skowski is zooming as Reese picks up 3 seconds as well now, which is not good. He no longer gets past Monk as things stand.
Harris has taken another second out of Rosu.
Let's watch this gap. Oh, but he's picked up a 3 seconds.
A penalty.
And Skowski all over the rears. Juvenez gets Binder. But Binder and Juvenez are battling as well, back in P10 and 11. And Juvenez looks like he's gotten through, but Binder gets the DRS on Juvenez. He might look to clap back. He looks for the inside. Juvenez leaves him space. They're still side by side, the mad lads. Absolute mad lads.
Oh.
And Juvenez runs very wide there. And allows Binder to get back through. And Potts,
Skowski.
this is going to play for Potts. Back to Skowski though.
He was kissing Koff's rear bumper, so he had to slow down and get a bad exit.
He'll be looking to catch him in the right spot here. As Harris, the gap between Vlad and Harris has gone down to under 7 seconds, but I don't think there's enough laps. As Saka scores, it's 3-2 for Arsenal. Let's go! Meanwhile, back to the racing. Skowski looking to make a big move on Koff here. Gets it. They swing out wide.
Skowski is not using his ERS at all.
And he's got so much speed in the corners. And Potts has got past Juvenez now, and he's looking to get as much slipstream as he can from Koff, as Skowski's going to get right past him before the first corner. Skowski now overtakes Koff before turn 1, and we're going to switch down for the battle for the last points playing position as things stand, as it is Binder being chased by Potts and Juvenez. And Juvenez is in the pits. Juvenez has gone into the pits.
With Harris's 3 seconds, if Ule can keep up.
Oh, and Harris got a really bad exit on turn 10 actually. This Harris has got a gap.
So much time.
He got a big snap, like he caught a bit too much curve and just drifted around the corner. He's gonna have to gap Ule, otherwise he drops to P3 here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, but he needs to push on to keep his P2 now. I do wonder Ule's tire wear though, I gotta admit. Rosu is pushing his ERS.
And Alsop and Reese are battling. Alsop has got past Monk. Monk's lost his wing. When did that happen? Monk is missing a whole front wing.
What the heck? Did they have an incident maybe?
There was clearly, that's what I'm hearing in chat. There was a clash. And Monk lost his whole wing.
That's not what you like to see.
It isn't. That's 300k. That's 300k down the drain. Or is it 150?
I think it's
150.
300. Is it?
I can't remember.
Okay.
It's been a bit.
Skowski.
Drunky Monkey strikes again, but I don't know if it was if that was Monk or Reese's fault. We didn't quite catch it.
We didn't see it.
So now Monk will come out. There's a yellow flag. Juvenez has
Oh, it's
spun.
Juvenez. This race has not gone too good for him.
I would like to point out Juvenez's helmet absolutely slaps. That is a banger of a helmet.
That's a sick helmet.
But Monk is now also Drunky Monkey strikes again as he misses turn 1. So it's going to be Vlad who's commanding this race now. Harris who's now racing a 3-second ghost of Ule. He's got 2 attempts to gain on Ule before he doesn't lose that position, but he is pulling away. And then it'll be Reese in P4. Sanders still running a quieter race now, but his tyres must be screaming at him with the fresher softs of Skowski behind him, and Skowski is on a mission.
I think with 2 laps to go and the 6-second gap and 3 seconds you would need to catch him, I don't think this win is possible for him.
Rosu, unless Rosu spins it magically.
Somehow,
if Rosu bins it, I can't see it happening. Rosu being one of the cleanest drivers last season for not binning it. As Juvenez moves out of the way of Rosu, Juvenez goes a lap down now. And he didn't even impact his Rosu's time there. It's 250k for a wing, ignore me. And now I reach my element, it's time to take over. Skowski Monk is licking his lips at Binder as there's a yellow flag. Hoovenez again spins. And he moves out the way of Harris this time. He's not having a good one. As, meanwhile, Skowski has done cop. Sanderstill's had an issue. Sanderstill's had a spin.
Bella.
We missed the spin. I thought Skowski had just gone past him, but he's had an absolute nightmare coming out of turn 8. Them tyres must be screaming. Kopf up into P6. From out of nowhere, Kopf has had a very quiet race, but he's in P6 here. So it's Rosu who leads Harris, who's got over 3 seconds down Ule, who then is Reese, and then Skowski, Kopf P6, Drahovazul P7, Sanderstill P8, Potts P9 and Monk in P10, but he does have 3 seconds, so he's got a gap Binder.
He does.
Would you be able to screenshot the race results as well for me, Duckett? Because I'll watch the proceeding if you skip through it.
Yep, sounds like a plan.
Thank you. So, it's Rosu on the final lap. Rosu, who's led from lap 1. A little bit of a gap where that he wasn't leading up during the safety car. He pitted for off their mediums onto the hards, has made them last as Hoovenez spins again, sadly. But Rosu, no, it hasn't. It was to begin with, and then the safety car incident happened.
Yeah, after that, he's just had some bad luck.
And he picks up a 10-second as well somehow. But
I feel bad for him.
Rosu now with 2 corners left to go. Harris in the distance. Unless Harris gets a puncture and crashes into the wall. I mean, if if Rosu crashes into a wall here. But if Rosu crosses the start-finish line, and Vlad Rosu is your race winner of Bahrain Tier 1. The green reigns supreme. Harris comes P2. Ule P3. Reese on his first Tier 2 drive, picking up a solid P4. Next it'll be Skowski looking for P5 here. 6 lap olds, P5 for Skowski, P6 for Kopf. Drahovazul just behind for P7. What could have happened if he didn't spin? If he didn't spin, who could have known what would happen? Sanderstill P8 on them 10 lap olds, softs, and then it'll be Potts P9 and Monk in P10.
I would
and
like
Binder.
Reese made up 11 positions that race.
Reese was down in P15 at one point. Finishes P4. Solid result by Reese Aesop. Woo! What a race, ladies and gentlemen. Driver of the day goes to Aesop as well. They drove in a mighty race.
He does deserve it.
So I'll let you get the screenshot while we watch the podium proceeding. And here comes Vlad Rosu. First race of Tier 2 Season 5. He comes out and he puts his stamp on it. P1 for Vlad. He's going to be happy with that one. Looking mean in the green machine. Aston Martin looking like they're looking solid. P2 Tier 1. P1 Tier 2. And they get the champagne flowing. So there we have it, our front three. Rosu P1, Harris P2, Ule P3. Have you got the screenshots?
I have indeed.
Perfect. A big incident after the safety car will be the big talking point of that race. As soon as the safety car restart happened, chaos. Absolute chaos. 3 cars out on turn 3. Both the Alpines and the Haas of Kizil. Not a race they all want to remember. 12 cars finished. Oh. But 12 cars finished this race, 11 on the lead lap. What a race. as we're going to get ready to go to the interview screen. Woo! What a race, Duckett.
That was quite something. What an opening race.
Indeed.
I'm kind of excited to see what happened with the 3 cars that went out after a safety car restart.
I'm not. That's a lot of work.
No, I meant like they telling us their side, their POV.
I feel like it might be a whole grid ticket for everyone to talk about what happened.
That's not unlikely.
Anyway, we're going to now come over to the interview screen. So, where is Vlad? I cannot... Is that there's Vlad?
There is.
Vlad, P1. First race of the season, starting it off with a bang. You must be delighted.
Yes, was a good race. Started on mediums for waiting for a late safety car, and it was very, very good.
The safety car is a contentious one. There wasn't anything that looked like a real reason for a safety car, but it came out nonetheless.
I didn't see.
And then that safety car restart. Do you want to talk us through what you saw on that? Because it looked like it was a very fun one.
Yes, something happened at the back because I couldn't see.
3 cars went out.
Oh,
Oh. We've lost both the Alpines and the Haas of Kizil by the turn 3.
I was lucky with that safety car.
But talk us through your race. You started on the alternate strategy to what most thought was the right strategy to be on, and you made it count. You put it in, put the laps in, came P1 in the end.
Yes, I had some races before in other leagues, starting on hards, because hard medium is the best strategy there. But every race the safety car came in lap 10 or lap 9. Like in this race. So yeah, that's why I started on mediums.
Ah. So you was banking on the safety car coming out, and it did come out just in time for you.
Yes, was perfect. Also GG to Alex Harris, I think, yes.
Yes. You looking forward to Australia? It's the next track on the season's calendar.
I'm not quite confident on that track. But we'll have to see.
You definitely had the pace though to prove it though. Rapid in qualifying, P2 qualifying, P1 race finish.
Yeah, it was a very good lap by Harris on quali.
Well,
I think 2/10.
2/10, very much so.
Faster than me.
Put a banger lap in on the last lap where it counted.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for joining us up here today, Vlad. Do you have anything else to say?
No.
Well, thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you next week in Australia. We're going down under.
Yep. Thank you.
Right, and now we're going to bring up our P2 driver and his Vice TP. How's that race for you boys?
I don't know what people were saying about the safety car restart.
They weren't happy. The safety car was unfortunate for Al. I think he would have easily won that.
Like, what do people want me to do? Tow people down the fucking straight so they can have me? Like, what do they want me to do?
It's fine. It's fine.
It is what you did was perfectly legal. I just think everyone else was expecting it to go.
Well, they shouldn't expect shit.
Yeah, I said either go really early or go really late because everyone's got tyre advantage.
It was a really late call, was it not, from the safety car? It missed the line.
Yeah, it
missed the sector 3 line.
Yeah, when the sector 3 line, when it went past there, I was planning to pit because I think Devil actually made the right call pitting when he did. And then because I thought we were getting another lap, and then it surprised me when obviously it was past the line and said it was coming out. I was like, well, fuck, there goes my thing. And then because I had 2 options, like Hugo said, it was either go early or go really late.
Well, As,
So I went late.
As Martin said, what you did was perfectly legal. So
It's well within the rules.
But yeah, other than that, a bit unlucky on the safety car. Just the timing of it really was really bad for the hard medium strap. Couldn't really go onto softs. Didn't look like the softs worked from the people that went on them.
They never work.
Yeah, true.
No matter the track.
Not since the update.
Tyre strat's so fun in this game.
But your qualifying pace, you put an absolute banger. The only one to go sub 8:28. Rapid.
It wasn't an 8, was it? It was a 9, wasn't it?
No, you was under one. You was under 120.
Yeah, 27.9.
You was the only one to go under 128.
I'd done it once in practice to go under the 128s, so I knew it was possible. It was just whether I could actually put it together, and luckily I did.
You really did. You got jumped at the start by the two on the mediums after, probably getting the better start.
Yeah, I fucked the formation lap thing.
He parked incorrectly.
Yeah.
Got reset.
We was watching you try and get the angle to block off P2, but maybe a bit too over-angled.
Yeah, it was just a blip. It was live and learn.
It was a very good
I saw them all
race.
on mediums. I was very I was surprised after watching the tier 1 one.
But again, it was a very good race from yourself. And are you looking forward to Australia? Last season, P7 in tier 3. Are you looking to improve on that in tier 2 this season?
P7. That wasn't
P7.
Me. I was P11.
You was P11. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I said in the last interview.
You'll be looking to definitely
it's your only bad performance.
You'll be definitely looking to get in the points this time round.
Me and Rory got in a load of tangles, if I remember rightly, in Australia. But yeah, I'll get somebody else up. I'm eating my dinner. So, cheers for the race, boys.
And we'll see you next week.
Cheers, bye.
Bye. Alright, P3.
Yeah.
See ya. P3 went to Yule. Where is... Oh, you've already got him up.
There I am. Yeah.
No,
Hello.
Jesus, my team.
Do you wanna do this one, Duckett? Do you wanna interview your boys?
Well, not really, because I have
Alright.
some questions.
So P3 and P6?
P5.
P5, P6 and P3 and P5. Solid result for the both of you. Big points, big team points for sure.
I suppose, yeah. It's good enough for the team.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still a little bit what iffing about the stuff that happened during the race because I'm calculating that if not some things, especially being rear-ended 3 times by Mercedes, I think I could have easily got P2, but well, that still means that Harris and Rosso were mighty quick this race and they fully deserve their positions.
Yeah.
Interesting strategy as well. You stopped very early to go onto them medium tyres, and then Skowski, you came in for softs.
Yeah, actually I had to because my tire degradation was pretty high. And I thought by going into the softs I could still maintain a good position. So, I mean, it worked out.
The thing was, he would probably lose more positions if he kept out than if he pitted.
Also, the safety car came out just as I was staring at the pit lane, and it was like, okay, pit or not, pit or not, pit or not. And it was a quick call, pit for both of us. Then we saw what we can do. Actually, my tire deck was amazing. I managed to keep them at 69%, nice. Where Casper just couldn't, so he pitted for softs, but still he's got pace good enough to get P5.
Yeah.
So, the title hunt though, still well and not truly open for everyone today. You must be happy with the point scoring still.
It's a solid result and we'll be leading the Constructors' Championship, which we're happy about from the start of the season.
Did you get fastest lap?
And it was Harris who got it.
We can't say no to that. The Harris and Rosie was really quick this race.
Yes. And Adventures in midfield didn't really help because it was crazy. After I was rear-ended once, I dropped to P9, I think. And I got quickly behind Skalski, and I asked him, okay, please let me go, I'll see what I can do. And this very lap I managed to get P5 or P4, so it was actually crazy, and Kasper followed me through really, really soon, so yeah.
Yeah, it was actually crazy coming through all those drivers. Pretty chaotic actually, and yeah, we managed to do so, and yeah, P3 and P5 that is.
And the restart. I watched replay, and I'm really happy that we're both in the clear. Well, Kasper almost got killed by Ferrari, but that's another story.
I believe we're tied with Aston Martin in the constructors.
Oh, are we?
We are.
Yeah, for P1. Okay,
wait. Because he's got P1, so it's gonna be tied with Aston, but Aston's gonna be ahead. Yep.
And I know you two like to keep score between each other. That'll be 1-0 to Ule, and with there being 11 races, this time you guys can't draw as well.
That's gonna be interesting season.
Yeah. Anyway, you two looking going to the upside down land of Australia next?
You know what? That was the track that I managed to give the proper challenge to Rosu last year. So let's see. I hope I still can be of some challenge to him.
Yeah, and I think Sector 2 still will be my favorite overtaking spot there.
Oh. Well, do you guys have anything else you'd like to say before we go to the gang down below?
No, only that it was an amazing drive from both Yuli and Skalski today.
Yeah, and thanks for the Davis. He was whole race with us. He made good calls today. That's the last thing we needed. We were lacking last season, so yeah.
Great stuff, Davis.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Well raced today, boys, and good. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, so we do. Cheers, see ya.
See ya. So we're gonna throw it down, and Chappers has eagerly got his hand up. Chappers, before you come up here, no getting too angry. Chappers, would you like to talk us through what happened for you under that safety car restart?
So pretty much, from what I'm hearing, it was a very late restart, and,
which is legal.
Yeah, which is apparently legal. Where then some drivers have the reaction time of my grandma. They then cause massive pile-ups and everything going into turn 1. And I get brake tested on the inside, lose my front wing. And sadly, my teammate going through the next corner got oversteer, tried saving it, and took us both out the race.
And Kizul got collected somewhere in that as well.
Yeah. So it was honestly a terrible race from start, to be honest.
You definitely looked like you had the pace though.
Yeah, I was quicker than everyone else in race. It's just quality, I couldn't get it together whatsoever. I just, couldn't get any heat into my tyres, especially on a warm-up lap, which was horrible. And then, in start of the race, my wheel wouldn't let me downshift, so that's why I pulled off to the side. I fixed that, carried on, caught up. Some idiots decide to deploy the whole entire battery. But yeah, that's fun. And yeah, it was just overall wasn't a great race. Being taken out through pure stupidity of other drivers is never fun. And it just gives me flashbacks to Imola.
Are you looking forward to going to Australia?
Now I've got nothing to really lose, even though it's just round 1. I've got to dig in and just get the comeback going. So in Australia, I'm sending moves left, right, and center. So average, watch out.
Send it center, you'd crash.
What's up?
I wouldn't send it in the center, you'd crash into the back of the car.
This raid doesn't bother me. I've got massive red mist going into the next few races, so expect the very aggressive choppers.
Interesting.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go down to the rest of the group?
You guys need to get the reaction test going, but yeah, that's about it.
Thank you very much for joining us up here today, chappers. And we will see you next week. Okay, does anyone else want to come up here? We've got time for 2 more. Going once. Reese. Hello, Reese. P4. Oh, nice. Nice. That went well.
What happened there?
Hello.
P4 in your first tier 2 race. You must be feeling happy with that.
I'm absolutely buzzing, I'll tell you. I had a very shaky start to the race, but whatever caused that safety car, that's the best thing that happened in my life, man. Like, it just... Because I... Obviously, the first 6, 7, maybe, had passed the pit entry when that happened, and that just allowed me and also Keishel to pit and catch up. I also do want to say... No, the McLaren guy's not here. There's a McLaren guy that had an incident with, I think it was lap 1 into turn 10, that, looking at it, I think it's a racing incident slightly leaning on my fault. Well, it's leaning on my fault, but I don't think it's enough for a penalty, but I was going to apologise to him just real quick, but he's not here anymore. I don't know what he was called, if I'm honest, but I've got nothing much to say other than that.
Oh, well, Australia next. You must be looking forward to it.
I don't know if I can race at Australia. I didn't think I could until last night, and now I might be able to. Dad's turning 50. We don't know if we're having our party at our house or at relatives, so I don't know if I'll be at home for the race. Yet to find out, but if I do, I'm looking forward to challenging McWilliams there, because it's supposed to be one of his strongest tracks.
Friends turned rivals. That's the story between you two, by the sounds of it.
Somewhat. I find it very hard to believe that he won't beat me this season, but you never know. If I fully get to grips with the medium TC, something could happen. But if he fully gets to grips with his no TC, then I'm out.
And is there anything else you'd like to say before we go back down to the guys below?
No, not well. Obviously, thank you guys for an incredible race. And whoever the fuck was at the front. Oh wait, am I allowed to swear? Sorry.
I mean, not really, but everyone else has been swearing, so.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, whoever was allowed to whoever did the safety car restart. Thank you so much, man. That was the other best thing that happened in my life. It was beautiful. I wish I'd done that in Brazil, tier 3, because that carnage it caused was very fun for me, because I was not caught up in it.
Well,
right.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on P4.
Thank you.
Alright, we're going to go to Hoovenvers, and then we're going to go bring the Williams TP back after. He's got one last quick word to say after. So, Hooveners, I'm saying it right, right?
It's Dutch. I don't even think you can pronounce.
Hooveners? How would I say it? Hooveners.
Yeah.
I wasn't too far off. I'll take it. You was running good until the safety car restart, and then chaos for yourself.
Yeah, that safety car restart, man. That was absolute fucking chaos. I got brake checked in the beginning. I heard my front wing. Then on the straight, I got absolutely sandwiched. Had to back out. Got someone from behind. I had no front wing. Rear diffuser absolutely destroyed. The thing was undrivable. I just kept it out, trying to at least get 1 point, and then I switched to the softs at the end. But with the rear diffuser damage, man, those things are fucking ice skates.
That would make sense. That would make sense why you were spinning so much suddenly.
Yeah.
You was looking on for a really good result though before that. You was the closest to Vlad when you was on the same strategy, and then you both pitted and you just had cars in between you and you came out, which is very unlucky.
Yeah, I think I would have eventually challenged Alex for P2. I don't really think I could have won that. The Aston was just a little too fast for me. But yeah, it could have been a podium easily, but yeah, well.
I don't really care. It was fun.
You raced really well out there until that incident happened, though. So
Yeah.
you did really well. Are you looking forward to Australia? You're going down under.
I have quite decent pace at Australia. I just spin a lot there. I just spin almost every corner there. So we'll see. A little bit of practice.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go to Harris for the last comment quickly?
No, not really.
Well, row race today, Huveniers, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
All right, man. See you.
Have a good one. Harris.
I asked in the chat what I didn't know what the safety car was called. Apparently, it was just a wing.
Yeah, some spun. I lost this wing.
Some spun and lost a wing.
Is that not why we moved to reduce in the first place last season?
Yes, and that's why I was questioning the safety car.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
We didn't get one for the 3 cars that died after either. I'd like to point out.
Is that ticketable, or is that like something you can discuss between yourselves with staff?
It's going to be a staff discussion.
We're going to discuss it. Yeah.
Okay, boys. Cheers.
Alright. Well, that has been me, Martin.
And me, Duckert.
And that was Tier 2 Bahrain, the first race of 11. We have the Tier 3 race on Wednesday at 7 PM British Standard Time, summertime, where me and Duckett will be racing each other instead of commentating together, and I'm definitely going to beat you, lad.
We'll see about that, ENF champ.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you on Wednesday. And I think it's Connor who's going to be commentating. So, have a good one all.
Is it done?
won't feel alone when you hear you hold me close and I'm feeling like everyone's alone, never really know you. Everyone's alone, never really know you. Everyone alone, feeling close, it feels like home. I don't want you now.